You are listening to Launchpad, a podcast produced by the Office of University Strategic Communications at the University of Texas at San Antonio. Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Launchpad. I'm your host, John Elizondo. We have a fantastic guest for you today, but first, if you haven't already, please check out the first 4 episodes of this podcast to learn more about the impact this integration will have on research and academics. But today we are going to dive a little bit deeper into UT San Antonio's impact on workforce development. Our next guest has more than 3 decades of experience in higher education and advancement, recently leading the Be Bold campaign, which raised more than $500 million to support key areas such as student success, research excellence, and community engagement. He works closely with alumni, donors, and community business partners and understands the impact of those groups to workforce needs in our city, region, and state. He's currently the Senior Vice President for Advancement and Alumni Engagement. Our guest today is Karl Miller Lugo. Welcome, Karl.
Hey, thanks, John. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, Karl, I know that you are somebody who is highly visible with a lot of people that are connected to our university. Some people might know who you are, but some people might not. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role as the Senior Vice President for Advancement and Alumni Engagement?
Oh, it's a pleasure to. So thank you. Yes, look, I've been at UTSA now. This is my 6th year. I've been in higher education administration for 33 years, and it's a great honor to be here. You know, this has been a rocket ship since I got here 6 years ago, being at UTSA. I was born in Puerto Rico. Spanish was actually my first language. I know you can't tell it with my Southern accent today. Lived in Kentucky for 28 years. That's where my grandfather's family, my paternal grandfather's family is from. And that's where I got my start in higher education. Worked for Lindsey Wilson College, a small private college at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, beautiful place. And then got a chance to work at my alma mater, Western Kentucky University, for about 8 years. And then we moved to Texas. I worked at University of Texas at Austin for a decade. It was a wonderful run there. Then I did some fundraising consulting, which is actually what brought me to UTSA. And then, like I said, I've been here now 6 years, and it's been wonderful.
For people not familiar with the term advancement in higher education, can you kind of explain what that entails? As same with alumni engagement. I know that sounds pretty simple, but I'm sure it's a little bit more complex than that.
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. Yeah, so advancement, it is about the advancement of the university, the advancement of the enterprise, and it encompasses a few different areas. One is one that a lot of people will think about, and that's the fundraising piece. We call it development. So there's a group that does that. Then there's the groups that support that work. So advancement services are the folks that are sending you your tax receipts, that are ensuring that we're stewarding you well when you make gifts to the university. Alumni engagement is actually 2 things. People will often think of the Alumni Association, which is obviously a big piece of that work, but it's also just alumni relations. So our job is to help provide the alumni relations services for all parts of the university. And then we have a communications and marketing team within the advancement office that helps provide support in those areas.
You have a highly visible role. I see it a lot on social media, and I know you're a big advocate for the university, rightfully so, for all the great things that are happening here. What do you get most excited about when you think about the opportunities that this merger presents?
You know, I love my job. I will say that, number one. And it is a real honor and a privilege and a responsibility, to represent the university in the roles that we have. This is such an exciting time. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I feel like this has been a rocket ship that just took off, with Dr. Amy coming here and the vision and the strategy that he's put in place and the team around him. But now as we go into this integration, you've got this powerhouse academic R1 university, by the way, a large university. A lot of people don't realize that. And then you've got a stellar academic health university, and you bring those 2 things together. I mean, it just has such potential to drive new innovations in our work, to help support this region, this state, this community. Really excited about what's to come, and being a part of it is a real honor.
We've talked about this before, and I tend to see it out in the community. As you mentioned, the momentum that is growing. And there was momentum already from the legacy institutions leading into this integration. But now do you feel that this just kind of gives it a shot in the arm to kind of take it, hyperspeed at this point?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you're right. A lot of this is timing. I mean, we've came here when UTSA was on a great trajectory. UT Health was on its own incredible growth spurt. And then you take just the city and this region and what's going on, and when you mix all of that together, it's really powerful. What's happening and what's to come. While we know we can impact the state at large and certainly even the nation, if not the world, our mission is to serve San Antonio and South Texas and the Valley and this region of the state. And so that holds true. And bringing these two powerhouses together is only going to bring great things to this part of the state.
And when you talk about alumni now, this alumni network is growing even more so with the inclusion of both universities. Can you explain the reach of our alumni? Can you explain just how this alumni base is crucial in the segment for Texas workforce?
Yeah. So you're hitting on a couple of different areas there. Number one, I'll tell you that we are going to now be an alumni base of about 200,000 alumni. You're talking about 150 plus at UTSA, another 50,000 plus with UT Health. And the the reach of that alumni base is so broad. We're all around the world, number one. There are roadrunners everywhere. But the reality is that about 80% of them stay in the state of Texas. So when you're talking about the workforce of Texas, number one, we're adding, 5,000 plus alumni every year to the workforce, and primarily in Texas. And then in this region, the majority of that 80% are actually staying around San Antonio, in that Austin and that I-35 corridor from Austin down to the Valley. And so we're one of the big players when it comes to providing the workforce for this part of the state. And again, that's a real part of our mission. And when I'm out talking to corporate CEOs and those in the C-suite about what it is that UTSA and this new UT San Antonio can provide to this region, workforce is always at the top of their agenda.
Some of the interesting statistics that I had seen, particularly when it comes to the health side of things, 94% of the School of Nursing graduates stay in Texas. 90% of School of Professional Health graduates stay in Texas. Those are large numbers. When you get to the 90%, that is right. Quite remarkable. To see how it's starting to impact here. And I know that your team gave us some great information when it comes to some of the local businesses that fuel the economy here. USAA, HEB, Southwest Research Institute, just to name a few. When you look at the health side of things, UT Health San Antonio, University Health System, Methodist Health System, even Brooke Army Medical Center. Those are institutions in this city that affect a lot of people around this community. Yeah,
we're so proud of the fact that when you walk into so many of the corporate entities and different institutions in this city, they will tell you, how many alumni they have. I remember anecdotally walking into one of the local firms here in town, and the CEO pointed over to their financial department and he says, "You see that area over there and all those folks? About 80% of those are UTSA alumni, that are leading our financial and accounting areas." And there's so much pride in that. And then obviously with the growth and the national reputation that we've built in so many areas across campus, but the things that are coming in AI, data science, computer science, we're really excited about what we're going to be able to bring, and new innovations and new opportunities for this region.
We mentioned the alumni network. When I think about college and really the selling point of college, obviously to get a good degree, but the other selling point is with that degree, you are now a part of a community of alumni that will hopefully open doors for you in the workforce. How do you see that network just getting stronger now as we integrate?
To know that you're joining this group of 200,000 alumni that are all across, as I said earlier, the world and the country, but so many right here in Texas, that you have access to that network now. Many of the student internship opportunities, for example, that we're able to garner, it's through university champions within these companies. And many times those are fellow UTSA alumni that now work in these companies that are calling us and saying, hey, I have the ability to help open up doors for student interns, and we want, fellow Roadrunners here.
When you think about it, really, some of the most valuable donations that alumni can give is their time, giving their time to students, to future alumni, to those who are looking to start their own careers. And then hopefully that continues into the next generation.
No doubt about it, John. I mean, that is one of the things, we talk a lot about time, talent, and treasure. And for many folks, the time that they give us by engaging in the university, engaging with our students and faculty, and then, as I said, sharing their own talents, their experience, their expertise. Our students love when alumni come back and present to the classroom about their experience. They can talk about, when they were a student here and then how they went off into their career. And it makes it real for students. They see themselves in those alumni and they think, okay, they did it. I can do it too. And so there's such a power to that. And so many times when I'm out and I'm visiting with alumni and they ask about ways that they can engage, that's one of the first things that I offer is, hey, would you want to come back and, speak to a class or maybe speak to a club that does, that focuses on the area that you're in? Because that is just such a meaningful interaction for our students. And what we find is that the alumni get a lot out of it and they really enjoy those opportunities.
One of the things that fascinated me when we first talked was you told me that a lot of people who give back to UT San Antonio do not really have a direct connection to the university, that really their connection exists from San Antonio. They recognize this university as being a university for this city, and that the reason why they are giving to the university is to help this city in the hopes that they will help strengthen the workforce here, the education of this city as well. Can you speak a little bit about some of those fantastic donors and how they've been able to provide experiential learning opportunities for students, and how are those opportunities enhanced with this integration?
I go back to the first significant donor to this campaign was Graham Weston, and gave $15 million to help us get the School of Data Science up and running. And he's actually an Aggie and a proud Aggie, but he makes his business here in San Antonio, and he knows how important the growth of UT San Antonio is to his and his company's future, but then also what he's trying to do downtown and what we're trying to do downtown. They dovetail. Those two goals are interconnected. And so his investment was not only in support of our wonderful institution, but he sees it as an investment in himself, in his company, and in the future of what they're doing. And there's so many different examples like that. The Alvarez family, what Carlos Alvarez naming the School of Business here. They've been longtime supporters of UTSA. And again, he was not an alum of this institution, but understood what it meant to his family's future. Bill and Margie Klesse, again, not alumni of this institution, but longtime supporters, particularly in engineering, and actually over at UT Health as well. All these families that I've mentioned have also been supporters on that side. And so they realize that when San Antonio does well, which means they and their families are doing well. And we love to be part of that and seeing that full circle come together.
We talk about alumni and donors who give their time and how precious that is. I know one of the things that this university is very proud of is the social mobility aspect of students, the opportunities they get here to better their life, to better their families' lives. And really, in turn, a lot of them are from San Antonio. So it's really helping a community with just one student. What has been your experiences with alumni and donors who are offering their time in hope to help a student like that and a community lift up?
I think I've got a wonderful example there, John. Harvey Najum, who's obviously a philanthropic name, here in San Antonio, someone that he will tell you it's all about the kids. That's always what he says. Karl, for me, it's all about the kids. And in our case, he created the Najum Center, which is all about creating experiential opportunities for our students. He wanted our students, to graduate from here with a diploma in one hand and a job offer in the other. I mean, that's kind of his dream. And so his center is centered around the opportunity of giving every student, as many students as possible, these experiential learning opportunities so that they get experience. Not only are they getting a wonderful education, but they're gaining the experience that they need so that they can get a job when they get out. And, we were talking earlier about folks, again, who are not UTSA alumni, but understand the importance of UTSA. And Harvey's another wonderful example. And I don't think he'd mind me sharing this. He's said, because he said it many times publicly, and just recently at our alumni gala, he was given a honorary alumni membership. He considers himself a UTSA alum deep down in his heart. And he's done wonderful things through that Najum Center, exactly to the areas that you're talking about.
I want you to take a look into the future right now. I know you can't predict anything, but in your head, how do you see our future alumni becoming the strength and workforce needs for the state of Texas?
Actually, I did. I brought my 8 ball here. I got my magic ball, and I tell you, the strategic plan that you will see come together over the next few months as these two powerhouse institutions come together. You're going to see a lot of growth in that. We're looking to grow the number of students. And again, that's undergrad all the way through PhD and postdoc opportunities. We're going to be looking for more experiential opportunities. We're going to be looking for even greater engagement within our communities. And so all of those things coming together just bode really well for the future of the institution, certainly. But again, we're here to serve this community, and we see that as our very important mission. And so what this portends for this region, this part of the state, this city of San Antonio is just really wonderful to contemplate. And I think we're going to see a lot of growth together.
And the understanding of this integration is that it's going to take some time, but it feels as though workforce development is one of those crucial themes that could benefit immediately as this evolution of the university begins.
Yeah, we're already seeing some wonderful examples of, folks that have invested on the UT Health side that now see areas of interest on the academic campus side. We've already had alumni, as you said earlier, from the UT Health side that say, "Hey, we want to get engaged in football. Where do we get our rowdy gear?" That kind of stuff. It's really exciting to think about, how that's just going to continue to grow and become more and more, especially as new students come in. Who will only experience it, as one UT San Antonio institution. And so those future alumni, that's what they'll always consider. But we're going to be inviting, folks to engage wherever they want. And that's part of our job, is to help provide those opportunities for them to explore different areas and see what we're all about. And hopefully they'll find, new and exciting areas that they want to engage in, whether that, again, be with their investment of dollars or their time and talent.
If you could say one thing to an alum from one of the legacy institutions hearing this podcast right now, what would it be?
Oh, man. We talk about, we have homecoming, for example, and there's a reason we call it that, because it really is about, we want them to feel like they're coming home. This is their institution. With any luck, it was a place that, really meant a lot to them, that has meant a lot to their future. And we want them to feel like they have an open door to come back. And that's part of what our office is here for, is, again, to provide those opportunities for alumni they can pick up the phone, they can shoot us an email and say, hey, we'd love to come back and get a tour of the institution. You know, I've got wonderful stories of folks that have not been back to this campus in, 20 or 30 years, and they are blown away, by what they see and the wonderful, different resources that we have and the buildings and all the different things that the students have available to them. And we love those opportunities to get people to come back and experience that. But like I said, it can also be that there's areas that were important to them that they'd like to get back engaged in. They want to invest in and see grow. Or perhaps they have new ideas. We have degrees on this campus that were started thanks to an alumni investor who came back and said, what would really strengthen this area is a degree or a program in this, and we'd like to help start that and support that. And so it's really true that they can have a huge impact, in our future and where we go and the opportunities that we're able to offer.
Well, Karl, we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us today and talking about the incredible partnerships that are helping UT San Antonio build the region's workforce. It seems as though it's not just the students, it's a big part of the community to help make this happen.
Absolutely. And John, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. It's always, again, a real privilege for me to talk about what our alumni and our investors in this university are making possible for us. And if anything, I want to, again, leave them with, we welcome you home. Let us know how we can help you.
We want to thank Karl Miller Lugo for his time. And if you enjoyed this conversation and feel inspired to help UT San Antonio and be a part of the university's mission in building the workforce, connect with us. Please visit utsa.edu/giving. This episode of Launchpad is brought to you by the Office of University Strategic Communications at the University of Texas at San Antonio. This podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Stay up to date with the latest news about UT San Antonio by visiting UT San Antonio today.